What does it actually take to win an election? I'm not talking about the speeches you see on TV or the rallies. I'm talking about the raw, unfiltered blueprint, the actual playbook that turns strategy into victory. Today, we're going inside one such document. What you are looking at is the heart of a confidential strategic report. It's a plan designed for a single assembly constituency in Nagaland. Now, this isn't some academic theory. This is a real-world, data-driven framework to engineer a political outcome. So, let's get into it. We're going to walk through this together in 5 parts. First, we'll understand the blueprint itself. Then, we'll zoom into the constituency it was built for. We'll examine the hard data that forms its foundation, deconstruct the 4-pronged strategy they've proposed, and finally see how it all comes together in a modern campaign. Right. First up, the blueprint. What's fascinating here is that this is a hyper-local strategy. It's designed for one specific assembly seat. It's a powerful reminder that while we often focus on national politics, the real battles are won and lost village by village, booth by booth, vote by vote. And this really is the central question the document grapples with. Nagaland is not like any other place. It has a political texture that is unique. Winning here demands a profound respect for local culture, a deep understanding of its history, and a genuine connection to the day-to-day concerns of its people. So let's get specific. This entire strategy is focused on one place, a single constituency called Pughoboto in Nagaland. We're not talking about abstractions. We are talking about a real community with a distinct identity and its own story. Pughoboto is primarily the home of the Sumi Naga tribe. Now, this isn't just a piece of demographic data. In this part of the country, tribal identity is the very soil in which politics grows. It's the central thread woven through the entire fabric of society, and as we are about to see, it's a cornerstone of this entire strategy. The report paints a picture of Pughoboto as a classic political battleground. On one side, you have these deep, historical loyalties. On the other, you have the urgent, pressing demand for development and a better future. Every election here is a high-stakes collision of these powerful forces. So where does a strategy like this even begin? Well, a modern political campaign is not built on gut feelings or guesswork. It is built on a foundation of hard numbers. This is the analytical core of the entire playbook. Politics today, when done right, is a science. And this number says it all. 70. The winning margin in the 2018 election was just 70 votes. Let that sink in for a moment. When a contest is this close, it means every single voter matters. Every family, every conversation, every promise kept or broken can literally tip the scales. Now let's look at the story these numbers tell. Focus on the Naga People's Front, the NPF. In 2013, they had a commanding 59% vote share. By 2018, it's a razor-thin win, just under 50%. But then, in 2023, something remarkable happens. They don't even field a candidate. Their vote share drops to 0. But here's the key insight a strategist sees. That 50% base didn't just evaporate. Those voters are still there. Their loyalty is now latent, waiting to be reactivated. That is the core strategic opportunity. So what did those voters, that latent base, actually care about? The playbook is crystal clear. It's not about abstract ideology. It's about the fundamentals of a dignified life. People are worried about bad roads. They're worried about not having a decent clinic nearby. They're worried about their children having no jobs and about basic school infrastructure. These are not just grievances. They are calls for restoring the dignity that our constitutional values promise every citizen. Okay, so you have the data. You understand the grievances. How do you convert that into a winning plan? The document proposes a central framework it calls the Chaturmukha Doctrine. Chaturmukha in Sanskrit means four-faced, and this doctrine is a comprehensive plan to fight the battle on 4 integrated fronts. What this really means is fighting the election as a single, synchronized machine. It ensures that every single part of the campaign, from the volunteer knocking on a door to the message going out on social media, is perfectly aligned and working towards the same single goal. In a close election, you cannot afford to have a weak flank. This doctrine is designed to prevent that. Let's quickly break down these 4 phases. The electoral phase is about the numbers, the where to find the votes. The organizational phase is about people, the who will get those votes. The narrative phase is the story, the why people should vote for you. And finally, the resource phase is about logistics and funding, the how that makes it all possible. And this strategic thinking goes all the way to choosing the candidate. The playbook lays out a clear-eyed analysis of different archetypes. Do you select a respected tribal elder who brings instant trust and moral authority but might not connect with younger voters? Or do you go for a young progressive who can energize the youth but may lack that traditional legitimacy? The key takeaway here is that the choice of candidate is not an emotional one, it is a cold, calculated, strategic decision. All right, you have the data, you have the four-faced strategy, but a strategy is only as good as its execution. This final section is about turning that plan on paper into action on the ground. This is where we move from the war room to the field. And the execution is mapped out like a military operation, a clear countdown. 6 months out from the election, you finalize the candidate and quietly start rebuilding the organization. 2 months out, you have the big public launch. In the final crucial 30 days, it's all about intense person-to-person grassroots campaigning, all of it building to that one single mission on election day: get out the vote. And here is where the campaign becomes truly modern. It's about merging that traditional ground game with sophisticated digital tools. They talk about building village-level WhatsApp groups. Think of them as digital booth committees, using Instagram Reels with local faces as testimonials, the new village square, and even a rapid fact-checking team to fight misinformation. Now, it's essential that any such data collection and communication respects the privacy and consent of every individual, as is their right under India's data protection framework. But in the end, it all comes down to the story you tell. And this one quote from the document says it all. The core idea is to connect with voters on a deep, cultural level, to weave in Sumi cultural pride, while at the same time positioning their party as the clean, moral, ethical alternative that will actually deliver on promises. It's a powerful blend of emotion and reason. And this leaves us with a final, important question to think about. When you see a political victory engineered with this level of meticulous, data-driven precision, you have to ask yourself, where does the political strategy end, and where does genuine public service begin? Is a plan like this simply a tool to win power, or can it become a genuine roadmap to understand and serve the people better? It's something worth considering. If you want to become a people-centric leader and uplift your constituency, get in touch with blueprintstrategies.ai at mgr@blueprintstrategies.ai or call 0800-4204-1602. Purpose beyond politics.